Hello everyone, welcome back to Naruto Fix. Today we have another interesting what if Naruto story. Which is what if Naruto had a hidden power no one knew about. Part 1. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. Now, without wasting any time, let's begin. The story of Naruto Uzumaki was always about strength. Or at least, that's what everyone believed. A loud ninja. A reckless fighter. A Jinchuriki with immense chakra. That's how the world saw him. But what if that wasn't the whole truth? What if Naruto had something else? Something deeper. Something hidden. Something no one knew about. Not even him. It started as something small. Almost unnoticeable. During a normal training day, Kakashi Hatake stood in front of Team 7, watching as Naruto struggled, again, with chakra control. Focus, Naruto, Kakashi said lazily. Naruto groaned. I am focusing. Nearby, Sakura Haruno sighed. You're forcing it too much. Naruto frowned. What does that even mean? From the side, Sasuke Uchiha smirked slightly. It means you're an idiot. Naruto snapped. Hey. He formed a jutsu in anger. But something went wrong. The air glitched. For a split second, everything froze. Leaves stopped mid-air. Sound disappeared. Even Kakashi blinked. What was that? Sakura whispered. Naruto looked around. Confused. Did you guys feel that? Kakashi's eye narrowed. Do it again. Naruto frowned. Do what? Silence. Because no one understood what just happened. And Naruto couldn't recreate it. At least, not intentionally. Days passed. Nothing unusual. Everything normal. Until it happened again. This time, during a mission. Team 7 was fighting a group of rogue ninja. Fast. Coordinated. Dangerous. Naruto charged forward with his usual energy. Shadow clone jutsu. Clones filled the battlefield. Fighting. Distracting. Overwhelming. But one enemy was different. Faster than Naruto. Stronger. More precise. He broke through Naruto's clones easily. Appearing directly in front of him. Blade ready. Naruto's eyes widened. Too fast. The attack came. And again. Everything stopped. Not slowed. Not delayed. Stopped. The blade froze inches from Naruto's face. The enemy's body locked in place. Even the wind stopped moving. Naruto blinked. What? This time, he was aware. He looked around. Everything was frozen. Except him. Number way. His heart started racing. Slowly, he reached out. Touched the enemy's blade. It didn't move. Didn't react. Am I doing this? From a distance, Kakashi's eye widened. He couldn't move, but he could feel it. This isn't chakra. Inside Naruto, something awakened. A deep, ancient presence. Not Kurama. Something else. Something older. Something silent. Naruto's eyes flickered slightly. A faint glow. Different from anything before. Move, he whispered. And instantly, time resumed. The enemy was thrown back violently. Crashing into the ground. Everyone froze. Sakura stared. Naruto, what did you just do? Naruto looked at his hands. Shaken. I don't know. But deep inside, he felt it. That power. It wasn't chakra. It wasn't Kurama. It wasn't anything he had trained. It was something else entirely. Something that had been sleeping inside him. Waiting. Watching. And now, it had begun to wake up. Later that night, Naruto sat alone, looking at the sky. What was that? Inside him. Kurama opened his eyes. So you've finally noticed it. Naruto froze. Kurama. Kurama's voice was unusually serious. That power. A pause. Isn't mine. Silence. Naruto's heart dropped. Then what is it? Kurama didn't answer immediately. Something that shouldn't exist in a human. Quote. Naruto clenched his fists. That doesn't help. Kurama's voice deepened. It was sealed with you. Naruto's eyes widened. Sealed. Kurama continued. The day you were born. Everything went silent. Because Naruto realized something terrifying. If that was true, then his life had never been normal. Not even from the beginning. And somewhere, far away, someone was watching. So it's finally awakening. Quote. A shadow moved. Naruto Uzumaki. You were always meant for more. The wind picked up. The night grew colder. Because the power inside Naruto wasn't just strong. It was unknown. And unknown power is the most dangerous of all. The night felt heavier than usual as Naruto Uzumaki sat alone on the rooftop, staring at his hands like they no longer belonged to him, replaying the moment again and again in his mind. The frozen blade, the stopped world, the silence that wasn't normal but absolute. As if time itself had bowed to something inside him, and no matter how much he tried to convince himself it was just chakra, just another strange effect of Kurama, deep down he knew the truth. It wasn't, because even Kurama had sounded different, serious in a way Naruto had never heard before, and that alone was enough to shake him more than any enemy ever had. Sealed, with me. Naruto muttered under his breath, his grip tightening as he stood up abruptly, unable to sit still anymore, because if something like that had been inside him his entire life, then what else didn't he know? What else had been hidden from him? And without wasting another second he jumped down, moving through the village rooftops until he reached the Hokage building, because there was only one person who might know something about this, someone who had been there the night he was born, and as he pushed open the door it out knocking, Hiruzen Sarutobi looked up in surprise. Naruto, he said, but Naruto didn't waste time with greetings or explanations. What else was sealed inside me? He asked directly, his voice sharp, serious in a way that instantly made Hiruzen's expression change, the room falling into a tense silence as the old Hokage slowly set down his pipe, studying Naruto carefully. Why do you ask that? He replied, and Naruto stepped forward, his eyes locked onto him. Because something happened today, and it wasn't the Nine Tails, he said, and that was enough, because Hiruzen could feel it. 2. Something different about Naruto's presence, something unfamiliar, something that hadn't been there before, and for a moment, just a moment, hesitation crossed his face. Something Naruto immediately noticed. You know something, Naruto said, and Hiruzen sighed quietly, leaning back slightly as if carrying the weight of a decision he had hoped to delay forever. There are things that were never meant to surface, he began slowly, but Naruto cut him off. Don't do that. Don't talk around it, just tell me the truth. And the intensity in his voice made it clear. He wasn't leaving without answers, not this time. And Hiruzen closed his eyes briefly before opening them again. The night you were born was not just about sealing the Nine Tails, he said, and Naruto's heart dropped slightly as those words confirmed his fears. There was another presence, Hiruzen continued, something that appeared during the sealing, something we couldn't fully understand. Naruto's fists clenched, and you put it inside me? He asked, his voice lower now, more controlled but filled with disbelief, and Hiruzen shook his head slowly. Number, it chose you. Silence followed, heavy and suffocating. Because that answer was worse, far worse, chose me. Naruto repeated, and Hiruzen nodded. It merged with the seal, binding itself to you, and your father had no choice but to contain it along with the Nine Tails. Naruto's mind raced, trying to process everything at once. Then why didn't anyone tell me? He demanded, and Hiruzen's gaze softened slightly. Because we didn't know what it was, or what it could do, and as long as it stayed dormant, it was safer that way. Naruto laughed bitterly under his breath. Yeah, really safe, he said, remembering the frozen world, the stopped him. The feeling of something ancient waking up inside him, and before he could say anything else, a sudden pressure filled the room, subtle but unmistakable, both Naruto and Hiruzen feeling it instantly as Naruto's eyes widened slightly. "It's happening again," he whispered, and without warning, the world around them froze once more. The flickering candle stopped mid-motion, the air completely still, the sound gone, but this time, it was stronger, more stable, more controlled. Naruto looked around, his breathing steady but his heart racing as he slowly realized something terrifying. This time, it wasn't accidental. This time, it had responded to him, and as he turned back toward Hiruzen, seeing him completely frozen in place, unable to move, unable to speak, Naruto took a slow step forward, testing it, feeling it, understanding it. "So this is it," he said quietly, and then, for the first time, a voice that didn't belong to Kurama echoed inside him, calm, ancient, and far too aware. "You've finally begun to understand?" Naruto froze, his expression tightening as he looked around. "Who said that?" he demanded, but there was no one there, nothing visible, and yet the presence was undeniable. "I have always been here," the voice responded, and Naruto's fists clenched instantly. "Then show yourself," he shouted, but the voice didn't respond with anger, only with quiet certainty. "In time," it said, "when you are ready to see what you truly are." And those words sent a chill down Naruto's spine, because this wasn't just about power anymore, this was about identity, about something far deeper than strength or jutsu. And as the silence stretched, Naruto took a breath, trying to steady himself. "What are you?" he asked, and this time, the answer came without hesitation. "I am the reason time bends, and the reason it will break." And in the next second, everything resumed. The candle flickering again, the air moving, Hiruzen gasping slightly as the pressure disappeared, but Naruto didn't move, didn't speak, because now he understood one thing clearly. Whatever was inside him wasn't just a power, it was something far beyond anything the shinobi world had ever seen, and if it was true, why awakening, then everything was about to change. Naruto stood frozen even after the world resumed, his mind still echoing with that voice, that presence that didn't feel like chakra, didn't feel like Kurama, but something far older, far deeper, something that spoke as if it had always been there. Watching, waiting, understanding him better than he understood himself, and Hiruzen Sarutobi immediately noticed the change. The silence in Naruto, the way his eyes had shifted from confusion to something heavier. "Naruto, what happened?" Hiruzen asked, stepping forward, but Naruto didn't answer right away, because he wasn't sure how to explain something he himself didn't understand. "There's something inside me," he finally said, his voice lower than usual, more controlled, "and it's not the 9 tails." And those words alone were enough to tighten the atmosphere in the room again, Hiruzen's expression growing serious as he realized the situation had moved beyond uncertainty. "Did it speak to you?" he asked carefully, and Naruto's eyes flickered slightly. "Yeah," he replied, his fists clenching unconsciously. "And it nods." "Ows me." Silence followed, heavy and uneasy, because that confirmed what Hiruzen had feared all along, that whatever had attached itself to Naruto during his birth was not just a passive force, it was aware, and awareness meant intention, and intention meant danger. "Naruto," Hiruzen began slowly, "you need to be careful. If that power is awakening, then." But Naruto cut him off, not out of disrespect, but urgency. "Then what? You're gonna seal it again? Hide it like before?" he said, his voice rising slightly, frustration slipping through. That didn't work, and Hiruzen had no immediate answer, because Naruto was right. They had hidden it, ignored it, hoped it would never surface, and now it had, stronger than ever, and before either of them could continue, Naruto suddenly grabbed his head, a sharp pulse running through his mind. "Tch." He winced, stepping back slightly as the war LD around him flickered again, not fully freezing this time, but distorting, bending like reality itself was unstable. It's happening again, he muttered, his breathing tightening as that same presence surged forward. Stronger now, clearer. You resist too much. The voice echoed again inside him. Calm, almost disappointed, and Naruto's eyes narrowed instantly. I'm not letting you take control, he snapped back internally, and for a brief moment, there was silence, as if the entity was observing him, analyzing his response. Control. It repeated, almost amused. You misunderstand. I am not here to take control. Naruto froze slightly at that, confusion mixing with tension. Then what do you want? He asked, and the answer came slowly, deliberately. To awaken you. Those words hit differently, not threatening, but unsettling. Because they implied something Naruto wasn't ready to accept, that this wasn't about fighting for dominance, but about something already connected to him, something that was part of him. And before he could respond, the distortion around him intensified, the walls of the Hokage office flickering. Slightly as if time itself was slipping, Hiruzen stepping back, unable to fully comprehend what he was seeing. Naruto, your chakra. But Naruto shook his head. This isn't chakra, he said, his voice strained as he tried to stabilize himself, and in that moment, the presence surged again, stronger than before, forcing Naruto's vision to shift completely, the world around him disappearing as he found himself standing in a vast, empty space, endless and silent, with no ground, no sky, just darkness stretching infinitely. Where am I? Naruto muttered, looking around cautiously, and then, from the distance, something moved, not quickly, not aggressively, but deliberately, a shape forming slowly out of the darkness, not fully visible, not fully defined, but undeniably there. You are within yourself, the voice said again, but his time, it wasn't just in his head, it was in front of him, surrounding him, and Naruto's fists clenched as he stared forward. Show yourself properly, he demanded, his voice steady despite the tension, and the shape paused, as if considering his request, before responding. Not yet. It said. Your mind is not ready to perceive what I am. Naruto clicked his tongue, annoyed but focused. Then start explaining, he said, and after a brief silence, the presence shifted slightly closer, its outline becoming just a little clearer, enough for Naruto to sense its scale, its weight, its existence. Something far beyond human understanding. You were never meant to be ordinary. It began, from the moment you were born, you carried more than just power, you carried potential beyond time itself. Naruto's eyes narrowed at that. Stop talking like that and say it clearly, he said, and He presence responded without hesitation. You are not just a shinobi, it said, you are a point of convergence. Naruto frowned. That doesn't mean anything, he replied, but deep down, he felt it, that something about those words resonated, even if he didn't fully understand them yet. It will. The presence said calmly, when the moment comes, and just as Naruto was about to push further, demand more answers, everything shattered, the empty space collapsing instantly as he was thrown back into reality, his body stumbling slightly as he caught himself in the Hokage office again, breathing heavier now, the pressure gone but the impact still there. Hiruzen stepping forward quickly, Naruto. But Naruto raised his hand slightly, stopping him, his eyes still focused, still processing. I'm fine, he said, though it was clear he wasn't completely, not mentally, not yet, because now he knew something he couldn't ignore anymore. This power wasn't just awakening randomly, it was guiding him somewhere, pushing him towards something he didn't fully understand, and whatever it was only just beginning to reveal itself. And as Naruto slowly straightened, his expression shifting from confusion to determination, one thought became clear in his mind. If this thing is part of me, then I'm going to understand it, because no matter what it was, no matter how dangerous, how unknown, how overwhelming, Naruto Uzumaki wasn't someone who ran from his own power. He faced it head on. And this time would be no different. Naruto stood there in the Hokage office, breathing steady but mind racing, the echoes of that space still lingering in his thoughts as if a part of him hadn't fully returned, and Hiruzen Sarutobi watched him closely, sensing that whatever Naruto had just experienced was far beyond anything the village had prepared for. Naruto, you need to tell me exactly what you saw, Hiruzen said seriously, but Naruto shook his head slightly. I don't think I can explain it properly, he replied, his voice calm but distant, but I know one thing. It's not trying to hurt me, and that answer made Hiruzen pause, because that was not what he expected to hear. Not trying to hurt you, he repeated, and Naruto nodded slowly. Yeah, it said it wants to awaken me, and those words hung heavy in the room, because if that was true, then this wasn't just a threat. It was something far more complicated, and Hiruzen exhaled quietly. Then this may not be something we can suppress anymore, he admitted, and Naruto smirked faintly. Good, because I'm not planning to, he said, his usual confidence returning slightly, but this time it felt different, more grounded, more aware, because now he wasn't just chasing strength, he was trying to understand himself, and without another word, he turned toward the door. I'm going to train, he said, and Hiruzen frowned slightly. Naruto, this isn't something you can just train like a jutsu, but Naruto paused at the doorway, glancing back just slightly. Maybe not, he replied, but I'm still going to face it, and with that, he left, disappearing into the night as he moved toward the training grounds, because sitting still wasn't an option anymore, not when something like that was inside him, and as he reached the empty field, the wind blowing softly around him, he took a deep breath and closed his eyes, focusing inward, not on chakra, not on Kurama, but on that other presence, that deeper layer he had only just begun to touch. If you're really there, come out, he said quietly, and for a moment, nothing happened, just silence, just the normal world around him, and then, a faint shift, subtle but undeniable, like reality itself acknowledging his call, and Naruto's eyes opened instantly as the air around him distorted again, not violently this time, but gently, controlled, and before he could rear caught further, the world slipped once more, not completely freezing, but transitioning, pulling him into that same endless space as before, the darkness stretching infinitely, the silence absolute, and Naruto didn't panic this time, didn't hesitate, he simply looked forward, waiting. All right, he sighed. His voice steady. I'm here, and slowly, that same presence formed again in front of him, larger than before, clearer than before, its outline still shifting, still impossible to fully grasp, but its existence undeniable. You learn quickly, it said, its voice calm, almost approving, and Naruto crossed his arms slightly. Yeah, well, I don't like being confused, he replied, and the presence seemed to pause for a moment, as if considering his words, before moving slightly closer. Then understand this, it began, your world is bound by time, but you are not. Naruto frowned immediately. What does that even mean? He asked, but the presence didn't simplify it, didn't soften it. You have already stepped outside of it, it said, when you stopped everything, and Naruto's eyes narrowed as he remembered that moment clearly, the stillness, the control, the absolute silence. So I can control time? He asked, and the presence responded instantly, not control, influence. Naruto clicked his tongue slightly. That's basically the same thing, he said, but the presence didn't agree. Number, it replied, control is domination, influence is harmony, and that distinction Adi Naruto pause, because it wasn't just about power, it was about how that power was used, how it interacted with everything else. Then why me? Naruto asked after a moment, his voice quieter now, more serious. Why do I have this? And for the first time, the presence didn't answer immediately, a brief silence stretching between them before it finally spoke, Because you are the only one who can. Naruto's expression tightened slightly at that. That's not an answer, he said, and the presence moved closer again, its form becoming slightly more defined, though still beyond full understanding. It is the only answer you are ready for, it replied, and before Naruto could argue further, the space around them shifted again, not collapsing this time, but expanding, showing glimpses, brief flashes of something else. Somit. Hing beyond his current understanding, broken images of different places, different times, battles he didn't recognize, worlds that didn't look like his own, all appearing and disappearing in an instant, and Naruto's eyes widened slightly as he tried to process it. What was that? He asked, and the presence answered simply, possibilities, and that single word hit harder than anything else, because it implied something far bigger than just power, far beyond just strength. It implied that Naruto's ability wasn't just about stopping time, but something connected to it, some thing that could affect outcomes, paths, futures, and Naruto took a slow breath, steadying himself. So what? I can change things? He asked, and the presence responded calmly, eventually, and that was enough to send a chill down his spine, because now this wasn't just about fighting stronger enemies, this was about something that could reshape everything, and as the space around them slowly began to fade again, pulling Naruto back toward reality, the presence spoke one last time, but first, you must learn not to break it, and in the next instant, Naruto was back in the training ground. The wind rushing past him as if nothing had happened, but everything had changed, because now he understood, this hidden power wasn't just dangerous because it was strong, it was dangerous because it could affect reality itself, and if he lost control, the consequences wouldn't just be destruction, hey, could be something far worse. Naruto stood alone in the training ground, the wind brushing past him like nothing had happened, but inside him everything was different, everything had shifted, because what he had just seen, those flashes, those possibilities, they didn't feel like illusions. The why felt real, like glimpses of something that already existed somewhere beyond his reach, and Naruto Uzumaki clenched his fist slowly, trying to steady himself. Influence time, he muttered under his breath, the words still feeling unreal even as he said them, and just as he tried to focus again, call that presence back. To understand more, the ground behind him cracked slightly, a sudden shift in the air alerting him instantly as he turned, kunai flying toward him at high speed, but before it could even reach him, it stopped midair, frozen, just like before, and Naruto blinked once, then sighed lightly. You're too easy to read, he said, flicking the kunai aside as it dropped harmlessly, and from the shadows stepped Kakashi Hatake, his visible eye narrowed with clear interest. So it's not a coincidence anymore, Kakashi said calmly, studying Naruto closely, and Naruto scratched the back of his head slightly. Yeah, I guess not, he admitted, but Kakashi didn't relax, because what he had just seen wasn't something normal, wasn't something explainable by chakra control or speed, that wasn't movement. Kakashi continued, you stopped it? Naruto nodded slowly. Time. Hink, he said, and even Kakashi, who had seen countless abilities, remained silent for a moment, processing that, that's not something a shinobi should be able to do, he finally said, and Naruto smirked faintly, yeah, I figured that part out already, but his tone quickly shifted back to seriousness. I don't fully control it yet, he added, and Kakashi stepped closer, his gaze sharper now. Then we test it, he said, and before Naruto could respond, Kakashi moved, faster than before, not holding back this time, appearing directly behind Naruto with a precise strike, but Naruto reacted instantly, not by dodging, not by blocking, but by stopping everything again, the world freezing around him, Kakashi's hand inches from his shoulder, completely still, and Naruto exhaled slowly, looking at the frozen scene. It's getting easier, he whispered, and for a moment, he observed it, testy. It, understanding it, walking around Kakashi, studying the stillness, the silence, the absolute control, and then he focused again, move, he said quietly, and everything resumed, Kakashi's strike continuing, but Naruto had already stepped aside, effortlessly dodging it, and Kakashi stopped him. Deately, turning to look at him, you didn't move faster, you changed the moment itself, he said, and Naruto nodded. Yeah, he replied, his expression serious, and it's not just stopping things, it's like I can feel where everything is going to be. Kakashi's eye narrowed further at that. PR. Addiction? He asked, and Naruto shook his head. Number? More like, it's already happened, and that answer made even Kakashi pause, because that meant Naruto wasn't just reacting to time. He was interacting with it in a way that normal logic couldn't explain, and before Kakashi could ask more, Naruto suddenly winced slightly, grabbing his head as a sharp pulse hit him again, stronger than before, tch. He stepped back, his breathing tightening, and Kakashi immediately noticed, Naruto. But Naruto didn't respond, because that voice returned again, clearer, closer, you are forcing it, the presence said, and Naruto's eyes narrowed internally, then help me control it, he snapped back, but the presence remained calm, control comes after understanding, it replied, and Naruto clenched his teeth slightly, then explain it better, he said, and this time, the presence didn't delay. Time is not a straight line, it said, it is a field, and you are beginning to stand outside of it, and those words hit differently, because Naruto could feel it now, that strange sensation when everything stopped, like he wasn't just freezing time, but stepping out of its flow entirely, observant. It from somewhere else, and his grip tightened slightly as he focused again, this time not forcing it, not pushing it, but letting it happen, and for a brief moment, everything slowed, not fully stopped, but slowed enough for him to feel the difference, to sense the movement of everything around the flow of events, the paths they could take, and his eyes widened slightly. I see it, he whispered, and Kakashi, watching from outside, saw something completely different, Naruto standing still, yet everything around him subtly distorting, like the air itself was bending around his presence. This is getting dangerous, Kakashi muttered under his breath, because this wasn't just power anymore, this was something that could break the rules of the world itself, and suddenly Naruto snapped back, the effect ending abruptly as he staggered slightly, catching himself. Okay, that's a lot harder, he admitted, breathing a bit heavier now, and Kakashi stepped forward, his tone serious. Naruto, if you can't control this, it could. But Naruto cut him off, not angrily, but firmly. I know, he said, that's why I'm not running from it, and that answer made Kakashi stop, because he see it now. This wasn't reckless Naruto anymore, this was someone who understood the weight of what he was dealing with, and was choosing to face it anyway, and Naruto looked at his hand again, the faint feeling of that power still lingering. If I can really influence time, he muttered, then I need to understand where it leads, because deep inside, he knew, this wasn't just a random ability, this was something bigger, something connected to those glimpses he saw, those possibilities, those different paths, and if he didn't learn to control it, it wouldn't just affect battles, it would affect everything, and far away, hidden in the shadows, someone watched silently, their presence completely concealed, their voice barely a whisper. So it's begun, they said, observing Naruto's growing control, the moment he learns the truth, nothing will remain the same, and the wind picked up slightly across the village, carrying with it a sense of change, because Naruto's hidden power wasn't just awakening, it was evolving, and with every step he took toward understanding it, he was moving closer to something no one in the shinobi world had ever reached before, something that could not just the future, but the very nature of reality itself. The training ground fell silent again. Not because nothing was happening, but because something had already begun. Naruto Uzumaki stood still, staring at his hand, feeling that strange energy fading in and out like a heartbeat that didn't belong to him. Not chakra, not Kurama, something else, something deeper. Kakashi Hatake watched him carefully, his usual calm replaced by quiet concern. "You're not just getting stronger," Kakashi said. Naruto didn't look up. "Yeah," Kakashi continued. "You're changing." Silence. Naruto clenched his fist slowly. "I know." For the first time. He didn't sound confused. He didn't sound scared. He sounded certain. "And I'm not stopping." The wind picked up slightly. Leaves moved across the ground. Time flowed normally again. But Naruto knew that wasn't permanent. Because now he could feel it clearly. That space. That silence. That place beyond time. And it was calling him. "You will break it." The voice echoed again inside him. Calm. Ancient. Unavoidable. Naruto's eyes narrowed. "Not if I understand it first." Quote. "No fear. No hesitation. Just resolve." Because this time, he wasn't chasing strength. He was chasing truth. And that made everything more dangerous. Far away. Hidden from the village. A shadow stood watching. Unseen. Unfelt. "So it's finally awakened," the figure whispered. Their eyes glowed faintly. "The power that bends time itself." A pause. "Naruto Uzumaki. You're no longer just a Jinchuriki." The wind howled softly around them. "You're something far more." Back in the village, Naruto turned toward the horizon. His expression calm. But serious. Because deep inside, he understood one thing clearly now. This power was not a gift. It was a responsibility. And if he lost control, it wouldn't just destroy enemies. It could destroy everything. Naruto took a deep breath. "Then I'll master it." His eyes sharpened. "Before it masters me." Quote. The sky above remained calm. But the future had already begun to change. Because time itself had chosen its wielder. And his name was Naruto Uzumaki.